All right, now that we got the valve covers all buttoned up, we have a lot of things that we are waiting on. I'm waiting on some hoses. I'm waiting on a turbo inlet boost controller. I'm waiting on, I believe, fuel pump and fuel injectors as well. So while we're waiting for that, I've decided to paint the intake manifold since I have to take it off to get the inlet in, or at least it's a lot easier to do that. So right now we're gonna remove the intake manifold, and we're also probably gonna take out the turbo as well, just so we can clear out as much room and make it as easy as possible to start from the engine block up and get everything connected and back to where it needs to be. The injectors and all that stuff probably won't even be here until next week, so I've got a little bit of wait time. We're also gonna clean as much as I possibly can while I have everything out, because why not? So this is just gonna be a little bit of a time lapse because I don't really wanna explain how to take all this off. It's a little bit of a pain. There's tons of videos online of step-by-step of how to take everything off. I'm just gonna do it. So I'm just taking these fuel lines off. If you have a special tool for them, it's much easier than just using 2 picks. I'm also taking off breather hoses, PCV hoses. A lot of mine are super hard and cracked, so it's good to replace them if you have an older vehicle. Some of them are being replaced with the AOS hoses, but I also bought some new hoses as well. So I took the manifold off with just the top part, but you should really take it off with the TGVs. It honestly would probably be a lot easier. So taking this manifold off really sucked. There's 4 bolts on the underside of the manifold that you have to basically find a way to get to. It was a real pain. 2 people helped a little bit, especially taking it out. You have to wiggle it around some fuel lines. You gotta bend the fuel lines. I broke a hose. There's literally just so much. Now we need to get the turbo out. I did strip a nut on the downpipe, so I picked up some new nuts for those. I just bought all of them again, so we don't have that problem in the future. But yeah, we're almost there. We do need to get the fuel injectors out, but we're gonna wait on that because I don't want just open ports everywhere until those get here. I'm just gonna drop them in, but I'm basically just need to remove the fuel rail and we're good to go on that. Fuel Injector Clinic, these are awesome. They're 1000 cc. We're gonna be tossing these on since we have everything off already, like the manifold, and everything's just out of the way. This is a great time to toss these in. It's literally like 2 or 3 bolts, pops off, pop these back in. And then I also got the connectors, so it's literally just plug and play. Along with these injectors, we're also gonna be putting in a couple hoses that I got, and I think I'm gonna plumb like a couple hoses for the AOS as well. While we're in here, I just wanna get as much done. From today, I'm still like 5 or 6 days away from getting like the finishing things that are being shipped, like the turbo inlet, basically anything that's holding me up from putting it together, basically. So let's toss these in real quick and get some hoses in. So the 2 injectors are right here. We're just gonna undo these couple bolts. Make sure you put some rags down to catch the fuel because there is going to be fuel coming out of these. All right, so I got the old fuel injectors out. There's a ton of fuel that comes out. You also need to undo this bracket, but you have to undo the oil feed line, which I'm not gonna do. So I kind of just lifted this up and wiggled this out. And I'm gonna try and do it to the new ones. If I get this furthest one in, or the closest one to me in, will be good, because this other side is super easy to get out and in. But we'll see. All right, so here are the new injectors. These are the 1000 cc injectors from Fuel Injector Clinic. And it comes with the little pigtails. plug and play. Now, when you're pulling these old ones out, there is supposed to be an O-ring, like a fat O-ring on the bottom here, and it gets stuck inside where the injector goes, so make sure you pull that out before you put the new ones in. So when we put these in, I'm going to take this little cap off, and I'm going to make sure to put a little bit of silicone grease on the O-rings. It'll slide in nicer and it won't leak. All right, let's see if we can squeeze this in here very carefully. Oh yeah, no problem. So an afterthought is you should put the connectors that came with your fuel injectors on the injector first before you put it in, especially on the one closest to me. It'll make your life so much easier because you won't be able to get that clip in. I also had to get this motor out for the TGVs. Just make sure you close the flaps to wherever it was before you took it off, and you won't have any problems when you start the car. So over time, these hoses get really hard. Like this one, you can't even, it's so hard, rock hard. And then here's a new one that is actually flexible. And we're gonna be putting those on both sides. I broke them, so we're just replacing those. And then we're gonna put some new AOS lines where I think the breather hose is, but yeah, this one's for like the crossover one. Having all of this stuff out of the engine, so the battery, the air intake, manifold, top mount intercooler, makes putting an AOS in so much easier. Same with a turbo inlet and fuel injectors. The more stuff you can move out of the way, obviously it's gonna be a lot easier to do certain jobs. So the great thing about the manifold being off is you can get this little piece, this little Y fitting for the AOS. You can get the clamp on a lot easier, and you can use the supplied clamp. If the manifold's on and the turbo and all that stuff, it's almost impossible to do. And we also did the lines for the valve covers on both sides. And then I also put in this new line and then this other new line. The ones that I broke, I fixed. And then we got the fuel injectors in on both sides, and they look good. Now that we got the fuel injectors in and a little bit of the AOS in, the next thing, I'm really just waiting on things to arrive, like the turbo inlet and a few hoses to get the turbo finished and put on. I also need to paint the manifold, which I think I'm doing tomorrow. But basically all of that's gonna be in one video, because I'm pretty sure it's supposed to all arrive at once. So when that gets here, we're gonna button everything up, put everything back together, and then we need to get a bass tune going from someone. So if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments on good tuners, e-tuners. I'll probably do an e-tune at first and then eventually pro tune it. But for now, this is where we're gonna stop, and then we're gonna pick up with everything else in the next video and get it completely finished, because this has been sitting in my garage like this for about a week and a half now, just broken down basically. So if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments down below, or you can DM me on Instagram, doesn't matter. But I'll see you in the next one.